This is our hot topic section, right? Jay, what you
So
want to talk about,
we
bro?
gotta find another name because I just stole that from the
Hot
read.
top.
Hot tops. I stole that from the read. Anyways, so this is the only thing I really want to talk about in current events this week. Joe Budden, the Joe Budden podcast. Joe Budden fired Mal and Rory. Just fired them and the video is hilarious because he goes, you know what, Rory, I'm breaching your contract and you're fired. And then it pans out. I'm thinking he's sitting next to him. Rory's sitting next to him. It pans out and both the chairs is empty.
Rory, you are in breach of your contract. And from this point forward, you are fired. And you're not welcome back. Does anybody in here have a problem that I'm the person that has to say that?
Why even have the chairs there? They're going to be empty. Why is he in a room with a bunch of chairs, empty chairs? Just have him just one chair. But he fired him. And he said that they was being money hungry and that it was over academics and this and that. A bunch of stuff that, like, after I heard what Rory and Mal had to say, it seems like it was more Joe Budden.
I mean,
I figured it was Joe Budden from the beginning, but you know.
what did he have to say? Because I haven't listened to any of it yet. So give me some details, man.
The Joe Budden's portion, basically he was just shitting on them. He was like, he was shitting on both Rory and Mal. He was shitting on like it was like a bunch of nonsense. It really just sounded like nonsense. But then I watched the Rory and Mal, like their little thing they did. They're like, we just want to let y'all know the truth of what's going on. Essentially, all Rory was trying to do was get the accounting because both Rory and Mal had percentage-based contracts. They were for-profit partners, so they weren't on salary. So Joe Budden wasn't paying them. So when Joe Budden said that you weren't around, you always wanted to look at the books. You're my employees. You can't look at the books. Technically, he's not. They weren't his employees. They were for-profit partners, which means that they get a percentage off everything they make. So they're entitled to look at the books because that's how they know how much they get paid.
Facts.
Because they get a percentage. So I guess since 2019, they've been asking him, hey, can we get the accounting? We just want to see the accounting. We don't think anything of it. We just need to see it so we can just know. Like they was like, usually you're supposed to give the people accounting every 3-4 months, like quarterly, right? And they're like, no, we just want it like once a year. We don't care, honestly, but we just need to see it for our accountants.
Yo, it's tax, especially with tax season coming.
Yeah, like tax, basically for tax reasons as well. Joe Budden was like giving him a hard time, and Rory, on top of that, was the one who pays the accounting firm out of his portion. He pays the accountant for him, and he couldn't even get the accountant. He would get like, he got like a word. They sent him an email of the numbers in the body of the paragraph, and then they sent him an Excel sheet that was like, you could just put in any numbers you want, and they wouldn't send him the official accounting. He was just like, I just need to know. And then every time they bring something up to Joe Budden, he just do Joe Budden shit and start going off. It just got really bad. Like it was getting to the point where like Mal was like, I'm done with the show. And Rory was the one who was like trying to bring them back together. They had like a 5-hour talk where they're like, nah, we're going to get everything right. And then they went on the show the next day, and then Joe Budden was just going off on him, being mad disrespectful. And they were both taken for a loop. And then they're like, no, let's all just sit back. Let's all go to our own individual corners and chill. And that's when Joe Budden brought on those two random dudes to do the show with him, trying to prove a point that both of them are replaceable. Basically, Joe Budden was being a diva.
Which they're not. Because them niggas was not good.
Yeah.
One of them talked way too much.
Yeah.
The other one didn't say anything. Had no opinion. The other one had no opinion. The other one talked way too much. I saw the episode with Kevin Samuels on there, and I'm just like, let Kevin Samuels talk. This one nigga would just rap it. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, so essentially it wasn't over money, but it was over money. At the end of the day, it was basically more so over respect. Like that's why they wanted to leave. Like they just didn't get the respect that they deserved, and Joe Budden wanted. Because I even like they was talking about it. They were saying like even little things he would say that they thought were jokes was like percentage. And then he found out, oh damn, we're making this much. Oh, well, I'll never give you guys that much. And it's like, that's not how percentages work, Joe. That's not how that like.
Charlamagne saw this coming about 6
Yeah.
First of all,
Ben said this.
There's no way I can consistently come on somebody's podcast who named it after himself when there's 3 people there that's doing it,
every
like
week.
2 other people there. No, 3 people, including Parks, doing it there with you every single week.
Yeah.
And you couldn't think of a name for the podcast except for the Joe Budden Podcast.
Which at the end of the day, if it was like the Joe Budden Podcast before they came on, Rory was part of it from the beginning. Before he even came on, he was helping out like with it. So like it was like, that's just weird to me. It shouldn't have been the Joe Budden Podcast once he had 2 other people on. It should have changed it. They could have called it like Joe Budden and Friends or some shit like that. Just something, just to ignore.
JB like, and Friends, something. He like, I don't know. Yeah, I gotta give Rory and Mal credit for like just continuing to run with it because it was successful. But at the same time, I'm like, this was finna happen because just from what we see, Joe Budden is very a controversial person.
He's very emotional.
Like, he butts heads a lot.
He runs off emotion more than being strategical. And like the way he was just able to switch up on his boys like that, it was just like crazy.
And you know what? We never know what could be happening behind the scenes. This could be playing. Yeah, they could be back together in 2 weeks.
I don't think so.
We'll see.
For the way Mal was talking, Mal was like, nah. Joe Budden said he'll sue them if they start their own podcast.
Wow.
I don't know how that makes sense, but
I mean, they got money before podcast. They'll get money after.
Yeah, but like it was like low key seemed like it was Joe being greedy and not wanting and making it wanting it to just be about him, and like they seem like they're done. Like this is just the end of an era for the Joe Budden Podcast. Let's see how well Joe Budden does after, but
it was a good run.
It's kind of like his own downfall. I feel like everything that ends from him is like his own fault. Like with the Everyday Struggle show on YouTube.
I mean, that's still going.
It ended.
Oh snap! Because what's
but it went on for a couple years after, but it wasn't as popular after Joe Budden left.
What's the other dude, man? What's the other dude that took his place?
What's his name? What's his name?
Hey, I like the dude
Wayno.
too. Wayno, yeah, he got his own podcast now.
He do.
Yeah, shout out to Wayno.
Wayno's dope.
Yeah,
it was just like at that point, it was just like once Joe Budden left, like the show, like no one really watched it. I feel like a lot of people watch it just for Joe Budden and his antics, always screaming at academics in his face.
His face would be red,
How many almost got in a fight with the Migos because they was giving a bad interview and Joe Budden was mad. Kevin Hart said hilarious. It right. Kevin Hart talked about it on his radio show. He was like, "Yeah, this is his own downfall. It's his own fault."
Yeah, he'll be fine though.
But everybody the fact that it's just hilarious how he was just like, "Rory, you're gonna breach your contract,
and nobody was there.
So you're fired." And it pans out and no one's there. Like, nigga, what?
That's petty. Yeah, that's petty.
That was petty by the camera crew.
My goodness.
But yeah, it was some other things too. It was one other thing that I thought was fucked up. Oh, Rory, when they got a Cash App deal, and it was mad money. Rory got mad money, and then there was like rumblings of like the production team. They were all saying like, "Oh, we're not paid enough. We're overworked." He's like, "Yeah, just give him my percentage." And Joe Budden went the fuck off on him. Like, what the fuck? Rah, 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 rah. Ungrateful. Rah, rah, rah. He's like, "Nah, I'm giving the money to the people who deserve it. I don't want the money. You can just give it to them." But Joe Budden went off. Like, he was just known for just going off.